Back in May, blogger Irina Shumakova from St. Petersburg actively posted photos from her trip to Africa. At the same time, the blogger honestly admits to her 2 million subscribers. She has traveled all the continents. I don't sit on this spot looking for rare people. But in the summer of 2020, Shumakova was in Khakassia, at the Lykovs colony. This time, another rare person, a taiga hermit, Agafia Lykova, hid the blogger's video camera. Shumakova's page is replete with videos from this trip. Everything is fine, if not for one, but the blogger appeared without an invitation, without obtaining permission from the Khakassky reserve, not submitting a negative coronavirus test. I just hired a helicopter, a pilot, found 2 escorts and flew in on the wings of enthusiasm. Ask, why was it possible? No, you cannot. And that's why. Some time ago, these bloggers applied to the reserve for permission to travel to Agafia, told the press service of the reserve. We asked bloggers to provide negative tests for coronavirus. It was also necessary to comply with a number of requirements: visiting the reserve, accompanied by an inspector of the reserve's protection department, have personal protective equipment with you. And also to receive the blessing of the spiritual father Agafya Lykova, or another representative of the metropolis. They just ignored all the requirements of the law and flew in. Now we are very worried about Agafya. Shumakova, apparently, cannot be stopped by some kind of legal requirements. She is eager to tell her subscribers about interesting people. Desire itself is, in general, very positive and rather harmless. But only at first glance. We flew for Rodion, the pilot, and Lena, or the person Agafya trusts, confides in the blogger's subscribers. The pilot strictly forbade even touching Agafya. Near the helicopter, when we were already leaving, I told her, "Agafyushka, I really want to hug you, but I was forbidden." And she says to me, "You can and hug." He still does not see. This is how she is, Agafya Lykova. And I will tell you about her. We also want to tell something about the Lykovs to the blogger Shumakova. Well, what if she doesn't know? The Lykov family, as you know, has lived all their lives in a remote taiga, hundreds of kilometers from civilization, in the western Sayan mountains. When geologists stumbled upon them, it happened in 1978, and then, from time to time, guests from the mainland began to visit the hunt. The Lykovs began to die. The children of Karp and Akulina Lykovs, except Agafya, died. There were 4 of them in total. The eldest son Savin, followed by Natalia, and the younger ones Dmitry and Agafya. The 3 elders were burned to death for pneumonia. Why this happened is also not a mystery. Although, perhaps, the blogger Shumakova does not know this. The Lykov's cause of death was the weakness of the immune system. This family does not have him, because there was no contact with the outside world. Agafya did a blood test. Although blood sampling is against the beliefs of the old believers, Karp Osipovich did this in an attempt to protect himself and the last surviving daughter. The analysis showed that neither Karp nor Agafya had antibodies to most viruses. To explain everything intelligibly to the blogger Shumakova, suffering from iron health, more on this in detail below. Let's say that 76-year-old Agafya can simply not survive neither African viruses, there are a lot of them, nor coronavirus. To understand why Irina Shumakova so demonstratively disdained all the requirements of the law, it is worth saying a few words about her. Who is she? Where are the millions of subscribers from? And the ability to easily hire a helicopter is not cheap, by the way. Pleasure. In Krasnoyarsk, an hour of work of Little Robinson for 4 people is more than 100,000 rubles. This is if without a flight to another region. The Instablogger became famous in 2014. An ordinary overweight tutor from St. Petersburg lost 40 kilograms with a special diet. Irina and her family were so impressed with the results that they decided to share their good with the world of Instagram. Free at first. Then for money, offering an individually developed diet in marathons. Lose weight with the Shumakovs. True, according to the participants of those very marathons, there was no individual approach at all. Everyone was sent the same diet. A couple of years after losing weight, blogger Shumakova got on television, where she spoke about her struggle with oncology. It turns out that she had been battling cancer for 5 years, from 2007 to 2012. The topic of oncology was closely watched after the death of Jana Frisk, and Irina was invited to several programs on different channels as a guest with a positive experience to tell how she won. 3 years ago, Irina bought an apartment in St. Petersburg and was amazingly transformed. She simply cannot be recognized. So prettier and blossomed that she does not at all look like her former self. A modest tutor opened an international language school. According to her, it is this project that gives her the opportunity to travel around the world. It would seem, what does Agafya have to do with it? Yes, it's just a rare person, as Irina herself says. Meeting her was a childhood dream, so the blogger looked at her at the light reserve. Commentary: what threatens violators? Director of the Khakassky Nature Reserve Viktor Nepomniachtchi. We have always supported and will continue to support all the not indifferent assistants of Agafya Lykova. However, we believe that what to do it is necessary in compliance with the current legislation and taking into account moral, ethical and theological norms. These citizens disregarded all warnings. They did not receive the appropriate pass from the reserve, did not warn the institution, grossly violated flight rules, did not use personal protective equipment, did not carry out the planned video and photography. They accompanied their trip by posting videos on a social network. In this situation, I consider it completely unacceptable to endanger the life and health of Agafya Karpovna. Even the inspectors of the reserve, helping Agafya, use personal protective equipment without fail. An administrative case was initiated against them under article violation of the rules for the protection and use of natural resources in specially protected natural areas. They face fines ranging from 3,000 to 4,000 rubles each. In addition, in relation to the legal entity, the owner of the aircraft, Robinson Helicopter Materials, are also being prepared, and an administrative offense case under the above article will be initiated, the sanction of which provides for a fine from 300,000 to 500,000 rubles. The vessel may be confiscated. I also want to say that the materials have been transferred to the West Siberian Transport Prosecutor's Office. A case may be initiated against him under article violation of the rules for the use of airspace. The fine for it is from 250 to 300,000 rubles. Hermit lives in complete solitude. In recent years, Agafya Lykova began to suffer from severe pain in her legs. In 2016, her two legs failed, self-medication did not help. The hermit, tormented by pain, asked for help on the satellite phone presented to her by the rescuers. When the helicopter arrived, the woman was urgently hospitalized at the Tashtagol Regional Hospital. Agafya Lykova took with her only icons, water, and a bag of crackers. An unusual patient was assigned a separate room. In addition, doctors discovered a benign tumor on the woman's right breast which is gradually increasing in size. An operation may be required soon. Agafya Lykova spent a week in the hospital. After being discharged, she was safely delivered home to her native settlement. Everyone knows that the famous hermit lives in the taiga, alone. The elderly woman was repeatedly asked to change her place of residence. Please share this video on your social networks using the buttons under the video and subscribe to the channel. I ask you to go and watch other videos about Agafya Lykova, which you can see now on the screen in the end screensavers. There are a lot of rare and interesting facts about the hermit. Thank you all for watching.